Hey everybody, thank you for tuning in to ChannelBK. My name is Brian. Welcome to another album review for Grimes, Art Angels. Grimes is singer-songwriter, multi-instrumentalist who has a fourth album out. This album right here, and her last album was most notably back in 2012, Visions, which was an album that, I kind of danced around. I thought it was fine. I liked some of the songs that came off of it, but to be honest, I kind of was not really looking forward to this album, not because I don't like her. I'm always interested in seeing what she's gonna do, but it was just not really on my radar until it was finally announced and all this stuff started coming out for it, like the title and the artwork, which is very interesting. So I was like, great, is this going to be sort of the sound I'm going to be getting on this album? And going into it, it definitely was. The opening track to this was very grand. It felt like walking into a castle, and that was one of the things that she sort of talked about before this album, was her learning all these different instruments to make it such a grand experience, because apparently she did everything on this album. And I think after kind of a so-so beginning and then the track Scream, which is very off-putting, like I don't really like it, we get to Flesh Without Blood. And this is when this album gets really good for me, and it doesn't really let up. I thought this song was just booming, it was heavy, but it still had such a nice, catchy flavor to it, and it was just so layered. And that's one of the best things about this album, is even though there's certain little influences that I'm just like, I can't get with that, this album as a whole feels concise, consistent, it feels well put together, layered, and the idea, I think, comes across very, very well. And specifically on Flesh Without Blood, her vocals, Claire's vocals on here are so great, and I think there's a lot of great moments with these vocals, especially the final track on here, Butterfly, which is another one of my favorite tracks. It's sort of like a somber-ish track, which is kind of a great way to end the album, and I thought her vocals were great here too. One of the things that I was obviously alluding to is just the bigness of these tracks, and two of my favorite tracks, hands down, is REALiTi, which has this super catchy flair to it. I love the synth lines on here, and then just the hook, welcome to REALiTi. It's just so infectious. But then we get World Princess Part 2, which, oh my god, this was like Flesh Without Blood. The second I heard this track, I loved it. I love sort of like that off-put synth line that just runs throughout it, and just the big bass in it. It's just so infectious, and she just pulls that off on so many tracks. But then we get tracks that aren't really stripped down that much in a weird way, but they're just a little bit more stripped down to certain elements, and that's actually the next track, Venus Fly, which has Janelle Monáe on the hook, where I kind of liked it, like it fit really well with the song. And again, this just kind of has some minimalist 808s elements to it. Or something like Kill v Maim, which has sort of like a hard-hitting drum line on it, but the track itself isn't as like overflowing with these really heavy, bright synths. Only really until the hook that it builds up a little bit, but for the most part, it kind of stays in this one tone. But one of my favorite tracks on here is probably hands down Easily. I love the pianos. Again, Claire sounds great on this track, but I just kind of like the quietness of it, like it has such a great break, and especially this track coming 2 tracks before sort of REALiTi and World Princess Part 2, which again, these are the 2 longest tracks on the album, and just these big, heavy, energetic, exciting tracks on the album. Easily is one of the more softer moments, and I think Claire sounded really good and really focused. But again, there's maybe 1 or 2 songs that are a little bit forgettable for me. I think once Flesh Without Blood comes in, it seems like every other track I really, really liked, but I think it starts off just a little bit slow. Again, I think California is fine, but Scream kind of was really off-putting for me. But I think as a full project, it feels very concise and layered, and it feels like it has one focus. And even though there's certain tracks on here that maybe are a little bit more forgettable for me, or just kind of like, okay, these are fine, I didn't really feel like any track could have been taken off. Like, I feel like it had a really good flow. Even, like I said, the first 3 tracks, which I wasn't really a big fan of. I was kind of going into this with those 3 tracks like, are you kidding me? I'm not gonna like this album. But once it hits off, I don't think it stops. Like, I think it really stays on a great feel. And Claire's great vocals also go on something like Art Angels, where her vocals are very layered and she has this nice falsetto on here. And that was another nervous thing, is like, I don't necessarily think she's a terrible singer, but she seems like somebody who kind of pushes herself with certain influences. Obviously, one of the big influences of hers is Madonna, but I think she really pulls it off when she needs to, and that was something that was also really great. Was I felt like a lot of this was very pleasant, and again, this could have came off very kind of like, oh my god, this is so sweet and sugary, but I thought it was really well put together, especially if she did all this on the album. I thought, again, it was a very well put together project, and I think it's something that you should all check out. So if you've listened to it, what do you think? Are you as high on it as me, or even a little bit more? Do you not like it as much as me? Leave it all in the comments below. Maybe some of your favorite tracks too. But if you like, please like, and please subscribe if you want more music reviews, as well as movie and television reviews, original stuff, hopefully coming soon. Raw discussions every now and again. Thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you for tuning into Channel BK. Peace out, guys.